for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit me get. I'm waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age.
Convicted of killing a friend in a DUI crash.
Two juries found Crockett guilty of involuntary manslaughter in December 28, 2008 crash that killed his friend Jack Corte. Crockett maintains he was not driving. He was not driving.
911, where is the emergency?
2125 Wolfman Road.
2125 Wolfman Road.
Yes, sir.
Both trapped in. We think one is still breathing. We got one that's still breathing, but they're trapped in the car, and the one is in the back seat. One is in the back seat. And what's happening with the one in the back seat? We can hear his lungs, but he's not talking.
For 4 years the justice system of Virginia Beach has engaged in psychological terrorism against Cameron Crockett and his friends and family. For this reason the anonymous cohort is coming to the aid of Mr. Crockett. We think that Mr. Crockett deserves a fair trial and that this matter is one of corruption and absolute injustice. We have for quite some time now secretly investigated the inner workings of the Virginia Beach political and judicial arena, and we feel that the constituents would not be amused with what they would mistakenly and inevitably see. It is time for Jacob Palmer, his family and his friends to begin testimony on exactly what happened that night.
So what do you want to say?
I'd like to say first and foremost that it is regretful that since I was released on bond, I have been unable to contact the Corte family. It's been one of the provisions of my bond, which has now been revoked. I went to his house often. He was at my house often. I enjoyed a respectful, friendly relationship with his parents. And like I say, I maintained my innocence. And although it was my responsibility to get Jack home that night because I picked him up, I didn't kill their son. Jacob Palmer was the one who was driving my car. I didn't kill their son. Jacob Palmer was the one who was driving my car.
Almost 15 years of practice, this is the first time that I've ever been able to say definitively and believe wholeheartedly that my client was not the driver of the vehicle that evening.
gentlemen, my name is Colin Crockett. Cameron Crockett is my older brother of 2.5 years. The reason I am coming to you today is very simple. I am here to demonstrate to the community the largely unknown facts and intricate details of the case of the Commonwealth of Virginia versus Cameron Crockett. I have been a close and consistent witness to all of the events that have come to define this case, and I am in possession of all of those necessary evidence to corroborate every last assertion I will make throughout the duration of this video. I will be showing you all many of these pieces of evidence, so please pay close attention to the screen as they pop up. For those of you who may not be very familiar with the basis of the case, allow me to give you some background. As you read in our introduction, Cameron and Jack were at a party in the Bancroft Hall Apartments off of First Colonial Road in Virginia Beach, Virginia, hosted by Kevin Rondorf and Josh Reddy, both of which graduated from Cox High School with Cameron and Jack in 2007. Kevin had texted Cam earlier that night around 7 p.m. to see if he wanted to come to the party. Cameron then turned around and texted Jacob Palmer to see if he was also going to the party, who he knew that Jacob frequently visited Kevin and Josh. As Cameron had only been to the apartment once before, and learning that Jacob had been and also going as well that night, he and Jacob arranged for Jacob to show Cameron and Jack which apartment in the complex belonged to Kevin and Josh. At around 10 p.m. that night, Cameron and Jack left our house on Earl of Essex Arch, around 5 minutes away from Bancroft Hall, and once they arrived in the apartments complex, they sat in the parking lot for roughly 45 minutes chugging 40-ounce bottles of Steel Reserve malt liquor, just chatting and waiting to hear from Jacob before going up to the party. A review of Jacob's cell records showed that he texted Cameron around 10:45 p.m. and Cameron responded at 10:50 p.m., which is just about the time that Jacob came downstairs and got Cameron and Jack and brought them up to Kevin and Josh's apartment. They were there for perhaps 10 minutes when Jacob asked if they wanted to smoke a blunt. Cameron knew that both he and Jack couldn't drive, so that was out of the question. Also, neither he nor Jack had any money to buy the rolling papers with, or any weed to put in them. So, given those circumstances, Cameron decided to offer to let Jacob drive the three of them to the store in Cameron's car, using the gas in his car as contribution to the cost of smoking the blunt. Jacob agreed and left right around 11 p.m. with the 6'6" Cameron Crockett in the back seat of his 1998 Honda Accord and the 6'5" Jack Corte riding shotgun. The trio turned left on the First Colonial Road out of Bancroft Hall. They turned left on the Great Neck Road only to find their store of choice, a Shell store, had been closed just previously at 11 p.m. They continued down Great Neck Road towards another store open 24/7, turned right onto Virginia Beach Boulevard and traveled to the nearby Citgo station, where Jacob got out and purchased the papers. Going back down the boulevard and then turning back down Great Neck Road, they turned right onto Wolfson Road as a shortcut to get to the apartment. Speeding and coming around at a curve, Jacob lost control of the vehicle and slammed the passenger side of the car into a tree on 2140 Wolfson Road. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where our story truly begins. We'll begin our review of the facts and evidence in this case at what might call ground zero, 2140 Wolfson Road, where the accident happened almost 5 years ago now. We'll be primarily looking here at photographs of the scene of the crash and of all the wrecked vehicle itself, in various angles to help you all better understand certain key dynamics of the accident itself. This is the car as it appeared from the middle of Wolfson Road hours after the accident. As you can see, these photographs detail the car's violent slide from the street and up onto the sidewalk, into the yard, and eventually into the tree itself. To this day, because of the partial amnesia Cameron sustained as a result of the head injury, we don't know for sure what caused Jacob to lose control like this. Now we can start to talk about the condition of the car. As a result of the accident, it relates to how Jacob both survived the collision and how he as well escaped, as how Cameron survived the crash, whereas his friend Jack Corte was fatally injured. As you can see here, this is the car's driver's side, left relatively intact as it did not strike the tree. The force of the wreck caused it to sustain some damage, but nowhere near enough to significantly injure Jacob Palmer, the belted driver, and certainly not enough to damper his escape. Look very closely here. Here at the crease of the driver's side door, where the window slides down into the door, while the window is down and open. As you can see, upon close inspection, the driver's side window was indeed down and open during the collision, as the glass is visible and intact inside the crease of the door itself. This opening allowed for an easy and ready escape route for Jacob to exit the car if the driver's side door wasn't working, which we suspect it wasn't. The driver's side window here was the only window down during the accident. All the other windows and windshields were completely shattered out. Let's take a look at the car from a different angle now. This shows the passenger side of the vehicle. As you can tell, the tree devastated the front passenger compartment, but the rear half of the car is relatively intact. This is a much closer look at where exactly the tree struck the passenger side. Look closely here. This is the T-column of the car, which structurally separates the front of the car from the back of the car. As you can tell from this picture, the tree actually stopped right at the T-column and therefore did not actually intrude into the rear half of the vehicle. It was because of this particular impact point that Cameron was able to survive in the back seat without terribly serious injury. Keeping in mind the picture that was just up earlier, I would like you to take a special look at the backseat area and how it is captured in this picture. Even from this limited angle, you can see that the interior of the backseat is quite intact, much like the driver's compartment. What you're looking at now is a photograph of the vehicle at the fire station after the roof was cut and Jack was removed from the car. This photo, unlike the ones I've just shown you, shows with great clarity the damage the impact brought upon each section of the car. Here, it is obvious that the area where Jack was seated was most tragically crashed by the intrusion of the tree. The driver's compartment sustained little damage, and the back seat, too, sustained little damage. This three-sided equation tells the story of how the accident was fatal to one man, but relatively light on two others. But most importantly, for our purposes today, it is these photographs which allow us, in our own minds, to picture where Cameron exactly was found in the car, unconscious, after the accident, and how the positioning is, in and of itself, very compelling evidence of his innocence. Now that you know the basis of what we're dealing with here with the accident, allow me to delude you into more intriguing elements of this case and of my brother's innocence. If you've listened up to this point, don't leave us now, because I'm about to glue you to your seat.
911, where is the emergency?
2125 Wilson Road.
Virginia Beach 911, where is the emergency?
Wolfsnare Road near Cambridge.
An accident?
I don't know, a car, so when I heard people yelling, screaming, calling 911, we heard a crash.
Virginia Beach 911, where is the emergency?
2140 Wilson Road, Virginia Beach, Virginia 23454.
2140 Wolfsnare Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Virginia Beach 911, where is the emergency?
On Wolfsnare, close to the Cambridge bisection.
I'm calling, Mom.
911, where is the emergency?
2125 Wilson Road.
2125 Wolfsnare Road.
Yes, there was a car. It's in the yard next, across from my house.
What's the emergency there?
Huh?
What is the emergency?
A car was speeding and it crashed into my next door neighbor's yard.
Into the yard?
Yes.
Is anybody hurt?
I have no idea. Mom, is it hurt? Yes, one really bad. We're on the phone.
Okay, what neighborhood is that in?
Wolfsnare Road.
Well, what's it called?
Huh?
Is it called something in particular?
Wolfsnare Road. W-O-L-F-S-N-A-R-E.
A neighborhood? No?
Huh?
It doesn't have a neighborhood?
Wolfsnare Road. It's on Washington Square. It's off of Wolfsnare Road.
Washington Square?
On Wolfsnare Road.
Okay, what's your last name?
Patrick.
And the phone number you're calling from?
306-1213. There's 2 people hurt bad.
And it was a single vehicle accident?
Yes.
Are those people conscious?
Mom, are they conscious? No.
They're both not conscious.
They're both not conscious.
Alright, sir. I have notified the dispatcher so we can get an ambulance out there.
Alright, they need to come quick.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, we called them. They're on the way.
Yes. We're getting them out there. I was putting
What the hell
information in there. Okay, so they're both unconscious. Do you see the extent of their injuries, if they're trapped or pinned in the vehicle?
Mom, are they trapped or pinned? Are they trapped in the car? They're trapped in the car. He's still breathing.
They are trapped in the car? No one can get them out? Like
No one's out.
Right, but is it possible door to get out, or are they pinned in the vehicle, trapped in there?
They're in the vehicle. They're unconscious, but they're breathing.
And both of them are?
Yes. I don't want to go over there.
We do have help coming. I'm just asking these questions and then...
Yes, I know.
Okay, so they are trapped, you think?
Yes. What happened?
He was flying, I don't know how fast, but
he was going fast.
And he hit the brake because he was in the middle of the street. And when he hit the brake, he twirled, and then he just came across there, and it was like...
Did he go through that one?
Yes, he did. I saw him fly, and I heard him squeal.
And they're both trapped. We're both trapped in. We think one is still breathing. We got one that's still breathing, but they're trapped in the car, and the one is in the back seat. And the one is in the back seat.
final photographs from the scene of the accident, which are of the utmost importance to Jacob Palmer's escape from the area that I want to show you and pay very special attention to today. Can you tell what this black object is over here, to the right and somewhat behind the car? Let's take a closer look. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is a light black sports jacket, as you can see from this better angle. It is maybe 8 feet from the car, apparently shed by its wearer in a hurry and left crumpled on the ground. Certainly you must be wondering what this has to do with anything. Allow me to explain that to you. Simply put, the jacket is significant because it is impossible for anyone other than Jacob Palmer himself to have been the one wearing it. It is inevitable physical evidence of a third person and the true driver in this case. And this is why. Of all the residents of Wolfsnare Road who came outside in response to the accident, none of them claimed the jacket. Of all the police officers and emergency personnel called on the scene to help aid, none of them claimed the jacket. Jack was never even taken out of the car while remained on scene, and no one removed or was even able to remove any clothing from him at all in the process of rendering aid and medical assistance to him in the front seat. And finally, we know from EMT Chief James Dickey, who helped extricate Cameron from the rear windshield of the car and who attended to him in the ambulance en route to the hospital, that a shirt but never a jacket was removed from Cameron's body as he was being asserted and treated. So how did that jacket even get there? There's only one reasonable explanation, and that is Jacob Palmer, as he fled the scene, shed it hastily in the wake to rid himself of any connection to the accident that had any blood or glass in or on the jacket would have been established. From his perspective, there was no way he could be caught with that on, especially since it probably had Jack Cortez's blood on it. Not by police, not by anyone else. Jacob Palmer discarded that jacket no sooner than he got out of the car, headed for the woods, leaving his friends for dead.
difficult like needles in the hay. I need to flip the switch and show you how to hide. And love is not the answer if you're taking me for a ride. For a ride. This escape here was never gonna stay. On an island way too typical to be stuck in a daze. And now the competition's overcome one day. Temptation's not a word until we've let it go astray. I won't believe it.
My friends, we have in our possession 3 different forms of admissions of guilt from Jacob Palmer. The first one I would like to show you is simple. What you see here is a signed statement by Sean Hoover, a young man who was Jacob Palmer's neighbor at the time of the accident. It reads, Jacob Palmer told me that he was in the car the night of the accident on Wolfsnare. He told me a few days later, in parentheses, after the accident, took place at a house at that night. I believe that the third-party confession truly speaks for itself. Palmer was young and foolish when he made that admission to Sean Hoover so early in this case. In this next confession I'm about to show you, however, his words come years after the accident, and they come purely out of the arrogance accrued to the impunity he's enjoyed for oh so long now. In May of 2011, while Jacob was a second-year senior of Frank W. Cox High School in the hallway with his new ex-girlfriend Nicole Vaughn, when he was overheard by another student incriminating himself in this case. This student has requested to remain anonymous, so for the purpose of this video, she will be just referred to as by Emily. Emily testified under oath to what she heard on that day in the hallway from Palmer and Vaughn. Let me read to you exactly what she stated. She testified, he was talking to her about it, and I heard him say, I guess it was a close case to have him say that. And he was just like, I just got free. And he was like, I thought I killed them both. And then he went on talking about how he had. And how he was just going to go about his life like nothing and like he had never done anything. Cameron's attorney then asked Emily, did he mention any names specifically? To which she responded, yes, he mentioned Jack's name. But he did not say a last name, and he did not mention Cameron. Jacob Palmer's ex, Nicole, is also at the center of this next and final third-party confession. Right around the same time that Emily overheard Palmer talking about this accident, Nicole turned around and entrusted the information with one of her best friends. And as soon as wind of this information reached us, we sent our investigators to talk to her best friend at work. They went in wired, and Tori Miranda did not hesitate to tell us exactly what she knew. Listen carefully.
Yeah, she's told me that before, but I
She told you what?
She told me that Jacob was involved and that he was driving the car. I don't really know what happened, but I mean,
of course
he's
not.
like,
of course not.
Said it to me about it before, and like we've talked it, and I mean.
He's talked to you about it?
Not Jacob, but Nikki.
But Nikki has. So he probably told her some time ago.
She told me that Jacob was involved and that he was driving the car. She told me that Jacob was involved and that he was driving the car.
You've seen the evidence. You know the story. Now, decide for yourself. Who was driving the car that night? Did the jury convict the right person, or is the wrong man currently in prison on an 8-year sentence? The answers have been placed right before your eyes. It's up to you to not only acknowledge, but spread the truth. And do not let this injustice go uncontested. Where we stand now, we are doing everything in our power with our limited resources to fix this wrongful conviction and free Cameron Crockett. Cameron himself continues to work tirelessly as well. His appeal will soon be in court, and we all remain confident that the truth will set him free. To my brother, I say, until victory always. To my friends, I say, stick with us until the end. And to Jacob Palmer, I say, remember the 28th of December. Your time has run out.
Crockett.